He was coming. No more games, no more silent threats. The man with the switch was now hunting in earnest, and Leo was trapped in a labyrinth of shadows with a predator who knew the terrain far too well. This is a conclusion you demanded. This is the night the game changed. But be warned, the truth behind a deadly switch is more horrifying than any fictional monster. If you have a weak heart, turn back now. For the rest of you, welcome back to Fearfull Horror Stories. This is The Deadly Switch, Part 2. Leo scrambled backwards, his hands scraping against rough bark and wet earth. The man didn't run. He advanced with a terrifying, deliberate pace, the baseball bat dragging lightly through the mud, carving a sinister trail behind him. Every twig that snapped under Leo's frantic movements sounded like a gunshot in the silent, rain-soaked woods. The man's eyes, now adjusted to gloom, never left him. This was the core of the horror. It wasn't a chase of speed, but of endurance and psychological warfare. The man was demonstrating his absolute control. He was hurting Leo, using his own fear as a weapon. Leo's panic was a map, and the man was simply following it. Leo turned and ran again, deeper into the oppressive darkness. The trees seemed to close in around him, their branches like skeletal fingers grasping at his clothes. He could hear the steady, unhurried footsteps behind him, a metronome of impending doom. He was a mouse in a maze, and the scientist was patiently waiting for the inevitable failure. His lungs were on fire. A stitch in his side burned like a hot knife. He stumbled into a small, rocky clearing and fell to his knees, knowing it was over. He was too exhausted to run anymore. He turned, ready to face his end. The man emerged from the tree line and stopped at the edge of the clearing. He watched Leo's helpless, gasping form. He tilted his head, and then he did something inexplicable. He leaned the baseball bat against a tree. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the ignition switch. He held it up, allowing a sliver of moonlight to glint off his metallic teeth. And then he spoke. His voice was calm, quiet, and utterly chilling. It wasn't the voice of a raving madman. It was the voice of a teacher, a disappointed teacher. "You still don't understand the game, Leo," the man said. "It was never about the car, or the bat, or even you." Leo could only stare, his mind reeling. How did he know my name? The man took a slow step forward. The game is about value. It's about what we cling to. You clung to your car, to your sense of safety, to your life. He took another step. I took the first one. I could take the second. The third is negotiable. He stopped, standing over Leo. He wasn't smiling anymore. His expression was one of intense, almost philosophical concentration. The switch was just a key to a different door. The door to your fear. He extended his hand, offering the switch to Leo. It was a perverse gesture, a mockery of help. "Take it," the man whispered. "Your freedom is right here. All you have to do is take it from me." This was a final, cruel test. To reach for hope was to move within range of the man. To refuse was to submit entirely to his will. Leo's body trembled, caught in an impossible choice between two terrifying outcomes. A sound, faint at first, then growing louder. The distant, beautiful wail of a police siren. Red and blue lights flickered through the trees, painting the nightmare in a new, hopeful color. The man's head snapped toward the sound. For the first time, a flicker of emotion crossed his face. Not fear. Annoyance. Like a chess master interrupted mid-game. He looked back at Leo, crouched brokenly on the ground. He gave a slight, almost imperceptible shrug. The offer was withdrawn. He dropped the ignition switch into the mud at Leo's feet. Another time, then, he said softly, and then he turned and simply walked away, disappearing into the shadows from which he came, leaving the baseball bat behind as if it were worthless trash. Leo was found minutes later, shivering and in shock, clutching the muddy switch in his hand. He told his story. The police found the car, the broken ignition, the bat. They found his footprints, but they never found any trace of the other man. No footprints, no fingerprints on the bat, nothing. It was as if he were a ghost. The official report called it an attempted carjacking exacerbated by shock and trauma. They said the mind plays tricks in the dark. But Leo knows. He still has the switch. He keeps it in a drawer. And some nights, when the rain falls hard against his window, he gets up and checks all the locks. He looks out into the dark street, and he wonders if the game is truly over, or if the man is just waiting for the right moment to test what else Leo clings to. Was he a ghost? A demon? Or something far stranger? A human so advanced in cruelty, he treats fear as an art form? This story preys on the fear of being a pawn in someone else's game. If you believe Leo, if this story made you feel truly helpless, comment game on below. Share this video with one person you want to terrify tonight. Smash the like button. Subscribe to Fearfull Horror Stories. And hit the bell, because the man with the switch is still out there, and his game is never really over. Until next time,